somebody says an insult to your face, you're obviously not going to feel good about it. Kind of tough. I had to cut some people out of my life because of that. Those people that you knew, like who've known you for so long and stood by you, they're not the same people anymore around you. And the fact that they're the same people around their other friends who are not influencers and celebrities hurts you double, because you know that from now on, that person is going to want you only for your clout. Look into yourself and see, like, are you ready for this? Because this line of work changes you. You have to be ready to be changed. You have to be flexible to want that change, and you have to be prepared for that change. There's always eyes on you, right? Sometimes it's hard to drown that out. It's distracting. You're not really sure, like, do these people like me or do they hate me? My biggest fear, just being alienated from my family and normal life outside of social media, because this guy who's on social media, these two bipolar sides that you see, aren't really the same.
So, Tom, why a scooter? What's the story behind it?
Well, it started off at UVic back in 2021 when I had to get something to get around classes, because I was looking at getting a scooter before going to UVic, before I was living in a dorm. So I decided to get a scooter when I went to UVic, right? Shipped it over, got the scooter, and started riding it around. Because at that time I was going to a completely alien environment. There was nobody there to talk to. It was completely like just me alone. And the more I started riding around for fun, doing stunts and tricks and practicing for fun, like when outside of class, the more people, were started for some reason like admiring that. And I'm like, this is weird. And this is 2021, back when UVic was a party school. COVID shut down the clubs, so everybody was coming here, and everyone was partying every weekend. It was absolutely crazy, nothing like it. So every weekend I'd be scootering around parties, right? And people would recognize me as that guy with the scooter who lets people ride the scooter. I always let people ride and try it out because it's so fun, and I always wanted people to experience that joy of riding an e-scooter. When I let them try it, I became more popular, right? And that's how it started building up progressively. Soon, by January, I became like a kind of a UVic, local icon, a UVic, that guy people talk about, unofficial mascot, right? Campus celebrity. And I just started giving people rides and, letting them try out the scooter. But at this point, I wasn't yet making TikTok videos or anything like that. I only started my TikTok back in actually late February. That was when I started my TikTok. And I was posting really, really rarely. But this time, all of my popularity and fame was just strictly from people taking selfies with me at UVic and riding around UVic. So that was my concentrated area. I also bought a scooter because I just love being on two wheels. I could have gotten like an e-bike, but I mean I have an e-bike at home already. It's not as fun really. Like I love the way that scooter just handles, better acceleration, small wheels. It's just more thrilling. And it's a great method of green transport as well.
Yeah, of course. And ScooterDom now is a celebrity name, is a household name. Do you ever feel trapped by that personality of ScooterDom?
Sometimes yes, sometimes you do feel trapped by that. I think every influencer who makes a big persona like this feels that. There are certain, of course, ways you now must live once you become a famous person like this. When you're recognized on the streets, it's taught me, how to, properly conduct myself in public. You have to be very, very careful what you see online. You have to be very. You can't really have political opinions in this work, because there is somebody who will not like that and spreads about you. You can't ever have can't ever take sides in arguments and feuds. This is one thing that influencers always go wrong. They see some sort of celebrity argument online and they post immediately taking some side, cheering them on, and that's when there's all out war in their comments about that. And that's what essentially one of you. So that's one of the ways I guess you could call it trapped or imprisoned. So I just save those topics for my family dinners and stuff, where only my family and close friends hear of that.
And who is Dominic? I'm going to say that again. Okay. Um, who is Dominic when he's off the scooter?
Dominic, when he's off the scooter, he's usually just a regular guy. Goes to university, who hangs out with his friends, has drinks, with his friends, rides with his friends my friends who have scooters as well, and just likes to enjoy a cold beer on a summer evening, a bit of Minecraft here and there on the survival world, and a bit of reality TV, I guess. Also love to just exercise and work out, just like everybody does. I'm just like a regular guy, like everyone else. It's like wearing a uniform, and like when you're on duty as a cop, wearing a uniform or an outer uniform. It's kind of like that, similar.
Yeah, you mentioned reality TV. Any favorite films you have?
Mm, Probably The Amazing Race and Friends and The
Friends.
Rookie. I love cop shows. Yeah.
Nice. Um, I'm very curious. How was Dominic before?
Dominic before, well, he was a social kid, but I wasn't really chasing popularity. He was just I was just pretty much hanging out with my friends at school, I'd be very academically oriented, so, I would spend a lot of time studying, but like I found great friends who would respect that and, go with me just after school and stuff. But at this time, I was just a regular guy like anybody, regular high school student in grade 12, Sir Winston Churchill Secondary. That's where class of 21, where I graduated from, and I still talk with some people there from my class of 21. We're reunited and we're still good friends. And yeah, I was just a regular, ordinary high school student.
Did you have any role models growing up that sort of inspired you to, actually create a community that you have right now?
Absolutely. Minecraft YouTubers of the 2010s. I always used to watch them when I was a kid in early high school, a junior in high school, when I was in late elementary school. Always inspired me and thought like, wow, what if I could make money off social media? Maybe not gaming wise, but maybe some other niche, right? And I've always loved e-scooters, so I really loved watching Red Bull, motocross. I loved watching Monster Energy sponsored videos, all those channels online, especially gaming YouTube channels. But pretty much the Minecraft YouTubers, inspired me to make content on social media and want to do that. They pretty much had left that burning desire in my heart to want to get started on social media.
What's something about the old Dominic that you still hold on to and that you've intentionally not let go?
Definitely the moments I have with my family and my close friends, who I still associate with, because those are people who I always trust dearly. Since I knew them for a long time, they stayed true. Uh, those vacations with family I always cherish. Those times in high school when me and my friends are fooling around. I even keep photos of my old experiences from high school, back from 6 years ago, in my phone. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah.
You mentioned your family and friends. With the sort of the celebrity fame comes up the time where some people want to become friends just because of that status. How do you differentiate between good friends and bad friends?
Yeah, well, so this is it's gotten quite easy to tell. Usually, they're going to well, first of all, if they try to do it over social media, they're going to pepper you with DMs on the daily, just wanting you to do whatever, meet up or something like that, or make videos or something like that. They're also gonna really like they're all gonna accelerate. They're gonna try to accelerate the friendship to a level where they're like instantly your best friend in like a week or 2 weeks. They'll try to do that to try to gain your trust and gain like entice you into oh, I'm this super cool person, hang out with me, you know what I mean? But they're not going to admit to you that they want you just for your fame, obviously, but they will have it like the underlying feeling. I mean, this happens with what happened with every celebrity. It could happen with Taylor Swift. It could happen with Cristiano Ronaldo, with anybody, right? So it is quite a discernible, especially and also thing when they don't have much in common with you, but they just try to tell you stuff along the way, like that they like something that you like as well. Like they kind of try to pretend they have stuff in common with you.
Anything that happened with you, something like that?
Oh yes. Well, I'm not gonna name names,
Of
but
course.
there are some people who I knew from a while ago, a couple years ago, or even a few years ago, that now only want to be with me for reels or for fame or whatever, and they exaggerate their status to something that like tell people that there's some sort of person very close to me or whatever, and just to get clout, right? But I mean, I usually just try to ignore that, and I try to reason with them, tell them, this is wrong. But yeah, it's kind of tough. I had to cut some people out of my life because of that, and
How
it
hard was
hurts.
that?
It hurts. It hurts because those people that you knew, like who've known you for so long and stood by you, they're not the same people anymore around you, and the fact that they're the same people around their other friends who are not influencers and celebrities also even hurts you double, because you know that from now on, that person is going to want you only for your clout.
And how hard was it to let go?
Well, letting go was manageable, but it took a couple weeks of accepting it. it is like a kind of like a grieving process overall, like a breakup or whatever, that you have to let go and realize these people don't have your best interest at heart, and not don't have their best interest at heart. As a matter of fact, they're just doing this to probably get a few views in front of a camera, and it's sad.
Yeah. And family, were they very supportive of ScooterDom?
Well, they found out it was Scooter Dom when one of my neighbors, who was 1 year younger than me, told them that they saw Scooter Dom from their friends on Snapchat back in UVic, because their friends took a selfie with me and sent it back to them, and they're my neighbor, so they let my parents know, and then my parents knew that I had a scooter, right? And they really grilled me for that. They thought it was a poor financial decision at first, getting a $1,500, $1,600 scooter at that time. Now, of course, I try to reason away over a few weeks that explanation, right? That it's helps me a lot to get around and stuff, and it's gotten me, great social life and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how they got wind of it initially, and then eventually they accepted it. This is who I'm gonna try to work towards to be, and they always reminded me to always stay true and like keep focusing on your academics and stuff, because that's also it's very very important for you, right, in the future. So that's what I
Yeah. Any regrets?
Any regrets? Well, no, I don't have any regrets, getting on the social media platform. Looking back on it now, there were tough times that I wish I could have done better, like logistically speaking on Instagram, like, starting reels up sooner, but
We learn.
those ideas that came to me later, like posting the girl on the back of the scooter, for example, like that idea only came to me like just a year and a half ago. Even though I was like already giving people rides back at UVic, I never even thought of posting it. So I guess I could have accelerated that if I posted it first. But yeah,
We're going to talk about some of the comments that you received. And there's sometimes where you're like, oh, sometimes Gurunam is just faking all of this, or maybe, he's just trying to be fake. How do you deal with such comments?
well, usually I just speak the truth and say that the videos are staged, obviously, because they pretty much are. The girl on the back of the scooter video, it's it's the most successful video on my page. It's only a couple lines, and it grabs people's attention because there's conversation through all the time. So the line usually goes like this, saying my name, saying I'm riding with this girl. Like, she says her name, I say I love her, she says she loves me back, and then we say let's accelerate, and it's all packed into this 15 to 20-second clip, that I tell her beforehand, right? So the video is definitely staged. Like, I'm not obviously going scootering girls back to their dorm like out of the blue for no reason. But I do think it could raise awareness overall, like stop drunk driving and stuff, because it's an important thing, right? Or to stay safe out there, So it could raise awareness that way, but um, it's similar to an actor's role, right? Like, if people say I'm faking stuff, I'll tell them, I mean, yeah, if I am faking, but when it comes to products, like selling products, obviously I'm honest. I make sure to be honest. But these goofy clips online, like a lot of them are staged, right? Sometimes I'll do like vlogs where obviously they're not staged, and
Yeah.
like do like live reactions. Like when I do interviews with people, for example, those are not staged. Those are real, right? I ask people, do you want to be interviewed? Which city you're from, which country you're from, and they say yeah, and they'll say yeah, let's do it, right? So I ask them, and they'll say which country they're from or city they're from, and that's it, right? That's fully 100% real. The girl on the back of the scooter, that's a staged one, obviously, and a lot of people could tell the difference. I'm very glad that some people could tell the difference, because after like 5 or 6 videos of those, the same line, it becomes
Obvious.
pretty obvious that it is staged. But it's just because something's staged doesn't mean it's not entertaining, right? Like, I, I mean, would you say a film is not entertaining? Like, if
Mm,
you say that you're fake, you might as well be calling actors on TV and movies fake, right?
right. And then in terms of the negative comments, what was the time where you were like, I just have you had a moment of self doubt?
Sometimes yes. Sometimes there were moments of self doubt, and sometimes there were revelations where I knew that I couldn't please everyone, and that some people, like, I guess, paranoia, that some people were out, spreading hate about me just for no reason, and sometimes it kept me up at night. Sometimes I would have nightmares, about that, and it wasn't pretty at all. But eventually, there's two things that really helped me in life: family and friends supporting me, and prescription antidepressants.
Wow, you've used them?
Of course, no, I have a prescription. Yeah, of course, I use them. It helps a lot, being calm and stuff, especially when you have that anxiety of people hating on you. So yeah.
Th- How, like, do you feel that? What happened that actually caused that?
Well, I mean, when somebody hates you, it's just like it's a trigger, right? To like be sad about that. I mean, if somebody says an insult to your face, you're obviously not gonna feel good about it. If they say it to you online, it's they're just hiding behind an account. It's the same thing except they're hiding behind an account or an avatar or whatever. So it makes you feel sad overall, especially during critical times where you have midterms or whatever to study for. You get all this hate at the same time that compounds. So yeah, that's how it pretty much feel.
And then, right now, because that was. So, do you still use them, or did you use them before? Because when it got
Oh
like
no,
just starting.
I still use them like sometimes it's like a small dose like 10
Yeah.
milligrams. So it's not that bad. It just takes away that stress, underlying stress, right? So
Being
it's
being
great.
a content creator is hard.
It is tough. Yeah, it's well, it going into this line of work is really not for the faint of heart. I have people tell me all the time, approach me on the streets, and they're telling me, they're young, they don't know how the world works. They're asking me, ScooterDom, how do I become you? How do I become this guy like this? And I tell them, are you really ready for this? To them, I literally tell them, look into yourself and see, like, are you ready for this? Because this line of work changes you, and you have to be ready to be changed. You have to be flexible to want that change, and you have to be prepared for that change and how to deal with it, right?
What was the most painful sacrifice that you had to make?
Definitely the privacy for sure. Now in this line of work, you have no really privacy in public anymore. Within your own house, your house is the only the only pretty much solace that you have outside of hanging out with close friends and stuff at a shop or whatever. And whenever you're in public, anywhere outside the house, whether you're on the roads, at the mall, in a restaurant, whatever, there's always eyes on you, right? Somebody always, I look at people, I see in my peripheral vision, there's always somebody recognizing me, and I can see in their face when they're like, like, yeah, they recognize me, right? It's you can always see it, and sometimes it's hard to drown that out. It's distracting, you know what I mean? And you're not really sure, like, do these people like me or do they hate me? Like, there's always that
Yeah.
underwhelming feeling when you see somebody recognizing me. It's like, oh, are they are they fans or are they haters? You know what I mean? That's that kind of like knowledge that it's
Yeah.
always like spurs you inside that you just want to know but you can't really because I'm not gonna go up to every single person who recognizes me. It's kind of weird, right? So.
Yeah. Any big threats that you've received ever?
Well, not really any threats so far, like against my physical harm. There have been people threatening, to harass, make harassing calls to me and stuff, and harassing calls to places that sponsor me. But usually, I respond to it and take it seriously. Usually, you let them know that it's not going to be tolerated. There's zero tolerance for any kind of threats or defamatory lies or slander on the internet. It will be dealt with. I let them know that firsthand before it escalates, and usually that's actually enough to to shut them up, right?
Yeah. Well, this is just so inspiring. The things that you deal with.
Yeah.
It's always because people are like, oh, he has 40K subscribers. He's getting sponsorships. Life's all
Yeah.
well, but they never care to even see the other
Yeah, they
side.
never see the other side. Honestly, they never see what goes on behind that and all the toil and effort that's put in on the other side, especially balancing schoolwork and stuff.
In terms of schoolwork, how do you actually balance it?
Well, I usually try to set aside like some time through the day to post a video, and there's a thing. A lot of the videos in my that I post are not posted on the same day. So when I'm at a party once or twice a month, I'll take like 100 videos and I'll keep them in my storage in my phone, and then I'll post them bit by bit, right? Usually when I'm sitting on the bus, editing a video or something like that, or when I'm at home about to go to bed, I'll post that up, right? So this gives the illusion, I guess, to some people that I'm always at a party every day and like, oh, this kid doesn't care about his schoolwork, he's just out partying, getting drunk, whatever. But that's really not the case here because when you post is not necessarily when the video was taken. So I'll have all these videos in my camera roll, and I still have many more, like in case I want to post something. But they're not going to be posted at once. So that's what I
Ah,
like.
so because a lot of people are like scooter on parties are always, and I was like, I don't think that's possible because the amount of work
No,
poly is hard,
no, exactly.
and then you're posting and there's just like sponsorship. Everything is not.
No,
So do you
exactly.
party a lot?
I mean, it depends. During the first week of school, hell yeah, hell. Every day I stayed up like I got like only 6 hours of sleep during that jumpstart week. That's to get myself, acquainted with all the new incoming university people first. Say I can get my name out there,
Right.
and also going downtown to get my name out there to the clubs and stuff during Frosh week, and to SFU as well for everybody. It's always that first time of the year, and then of course there's major events that I go to like Halloween, or last day of class, or St. Patty's Day. But again, there'll be dozens of videos taken at each one of these events, so I'll have lots of stuff to post, over time when I can just, study a bit here, go to bed, and before I go to bed, just post a video, and yeah, there it is.
Yeah. What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is, losing my audience because of people, of haters who, try to bring me down. That's the biggest thing.
Is it constantly on your mind?
Sometimes it's on my mind, yeah. Sometimes it is on my mind, but like I said, thinking about other things takes it away. I usually try to prevent these things from escalating. I always take any sort of lies online about me very seriously, and it will be shut down instantly. And I mean, I will take action up to including legal if it needs to be, but that's not priority. Deterrence and conflict resolution is the priority first. And of course, my other fear, of course, is just losing touch with my family, I guess, because of the social media stuff, right? That's maybe my biggest fear, just being alienated from my family and normal life outside of social media, because this guy who's on social media, these two bipolar sides that you see, aren't really the same. So I don't want to get into either one too much, because then it'll fail. Things will go down south very bad.
A lot of people say that a lot of, let's say, celebrities or people who've actually made their name, as you mentioned, have like two personalities or two various sides.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been told that as well. I am
Yeah, no,
different
you're
off
right.
camera, on camera. I don't think it's a bad thing. What are your thoughts on that?
No, well, it depends. If the person has a bad personality off camera and is abusive or something, that really that does matter, and that is a bad thing. But I mean, my personality on the other side is just calm and
Yeah, same.
content, uh, academically focused on my schoolwork, and yeah, just like a regular guy. And you'll see all this energy from me just come up when I'm at a party or when I'm meeting fans or whatever, just to be hyped up in the moment. But usually, I'm this kind of calm person overall
Yeah.
who just loves doing what other people do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What keeps you motivated?
Well, first of all, I love, meeting all these new people, like, and just the feeling that somebody loves my content that I worked hard on is always amazing. Whenever somebody comes up to me on the street and is like, "Yo, ScooterDom, can I have a picture? Can you send my whatever?" I'm like, "Oh wow, that's so cool! Somebody watched my content. We got a fan on the street. That's so cool, right?"
Yeah.
And it always, makes me happy to see that, right? It can get annoying sometimes, and I'm, eating lunch or something, like, or I want to be left alone, but other than that, it's really great to have all these people, just want to meet you. That's what keeps me motivated all the time. All the fans and all the love that I get, that drowns out the hate. That's pretty much, the overall of it.
Yeah. How do you? Oh, you're people. You're someone people look up to.
Yeah.
How do you balance the personal joy of being Scooter Dom with the professional responsibility that comes with it?
Well, I usually practice. Usually, like, this is another thing that you'll see two sides of me, is that the professional one behind these emails on behind sponsors is different than the one at parties and stuff. And usually, I've been taught this. My parents taught me a great deal about how to respond to emails and stuff. My brand sponsor partners have, at the nearby shop that sponsors me, have taught me how to do this. Friends have taught me how to do this. It's a very useful skill to have. I've never really taken business communications, but like they taught me a lot, so it's been great. You don't want to be goofy over a brand sponsor email, because that's not a very good way to start off. You want to be serious and no nonsense when somebody comes in and wants to sign a $10,000 brand deal with you. You want to be serious. right? Like instantly, you know to be serious. You're to be professional. You're to be polite. You're to be giving this other person priority to speak when they want to, because this person is going to be employing you for the service or for whatever time on 1 year contract, whatever, with any brand that they want to see some professionalism, that they can trust you to deliver those products online, which is the videos. They can trust you to deliver those deliverables online without any issues, without any goofing off. So pretty much, it's a shut up and say what and do what they say.
Yeah. ScooterDom is sort of a brand of its own.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you envision yourself becoming an entrepreneur?
Definitely, yes. I always envisioned myself doing this, whether big or small entrepreneur. I always wanted to do that. I never found myself working a regular job like everybody else.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to expand beyond, what the norm is, and I think that my different personality from the others has really enabled me to do that, to want to do that, because nobody ever really accomplished anything by just being normal. That's the thing. Nobody, never, ever, whether it was a big or a small accomplishment, nobody ever accomplished something by just, being normal, not being a little bit weird or messed up. Okay, like there's just, you look at all these people like who are out there and stuff, like Musk, Bezos. I can keep naming names. Even my local, store friend who owns a store, like he didn't, get that by just, being normal like the other guys. So, I always want to embrace that personality, that aura that I've been given and blessed with, and turn that into a reality, make it work for me.
What's your mantra for your work that you do?
My mantra for my work is, like my mantra, like my motto.
Sure.
Hmm,
Motto.
I guess I'd say, never give up and focus on the goal. Keep your eyes on the horizon, right?
Yeah. How do you approach goal setting?
Usually, in the morning, sometimes an idea will come to me and I'll be like, "Oh, fuck it, let's just do this. Let's think of doing this, right? Within reason, and we'll try to think of ways so where I can do this, right? And then I'll list the ways I can do it in my head, and try to make a video out of it, right? So, for example, girl in the back of the scooter video, I'm like, I already have people riding with me. Why not, try to get it filmed on camera? And I'm like, I asked this one girl from 2023, back when the Irish were here, like, hey, you want to film a video of me on the back of the scooter with you? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, yeah. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And this is the first video that was completely improvised and like not scripted, because this is the one that first blew up. It was completely unscripted and it blew up. Can you believe it?
Wow.
I was just winging my lines as long as you were writing it over like
Yeah.
16 seconds. And then eventually I just uploaded it, and lo and behold, on TikTok, it got freaking 200,000 views almost. And I was featured on Urba Vancouver and 604 TV and all these things. And I'm
Yeah.
crazy. Like, no way, everybody in the city recognizes me because of this video now. It's insane.
Yeah.
Right? And I decided to try to do it again on Instagram with the same video, like later on, and it blew up.
It's like, sure, I'll keep doing it now.
Yeah, I'll keep doing. No, and there's definitely a demand for that. You know what I mean? So.
How do you think being Scooter Dorm has prepared Dominic for future opportunities?
I think it's taught me a great deal about like business negotiations and marketing, and a lot of social skills as well. Confidence in a deal, in talking with people, confidence in handling business communications, de-escalating conflicts. These are all very, really important things to know
Yeah.
for any kind of setting, right? It's also like im- improving your patience when dealing with people who don't have your best interests at heart. It's all trains you to do that, right? So in that way, it changes you for the better, right?
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. For the last question, any piece of advice you have for students who really want to make a difference?
Well, I'd just say do what you want to do. That's the thing. Do something good that you want to do. It doesn't have to be scooters necessarily. It doesn't have to be videos necessarily. You can make a change today by making somebody's day, and by uh, doing something small. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to donate $100,000 to whatever. Just simple, greeting with people, or helping someone with their homework or whatever. It always goes a long way.
Yeah.
Showing love to your neighbor.
Yes. Well, Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Dominic.
Yeah, you're
Really
welcome.
appreciate. Guys, follow Unibeans, follow ScooterDom.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's great being with you here, Himanshi.
See ya.
See you.